What's up guys, it's Dunmere, top 100 main tank player, and I'm gonna run through some Junker Queen gameplay, oh my gosh. Some Junker Queen gameplay and talk about what I think about the character and all that sort of stuff. So, already down one, looking a little bit sus here. But the character is interesting. Like, she has pretty good brawling potential, but the nerfs kind of hit her hard, I think. The fact that you could apply like 100 armor to your teammate like all the time whenever you used your commanding shout, actually over health, right? Your over health to your teammates by using commanding shout was kind of crazy. Like that, having the ability to pop it on like your Tracer, your Genji or whatever, make them like unkillable is broken. But now there's only 50. That's a lot less justifiable. I don't really see this character getting like a whole lot of playtime in the high ranks. I could be wrong, you know, of course, but kind of what I'm suspecting at the moment. Like, her damage is just kind of not too impressive and doesn't really do anything for the rest of your team that like another character doesn't do better. For example, like even something like Reinhardt that I don't really think is too hot can shield your team in a brawl. Whereas this character doesn't really do anything now. Like, you can try and get hooks and stuff like that, or, you know, your little whatevers they're called, little daggers. But you're honestly going to be looking at a lot more of, like, just getting less value out of that than you would on Roadhog. So, which, as a side note, I do think Roadhog can be kind of crazy. But Roadhog also has much better range, so this game I think is going to be very spam heavy. Right now the sustain in the game is absolutely crazy nuts, so it'll probably still be pretty brawl based, but even Roadhog, like just the way that this game has basically been turned into like a deathmatch, having the ability to like just hook things from range and actually guarantee kills on things is gonna be really powerful. Especially playing against a Junker Queen. Like if you roll up on Roadhog versus a Junker Queen, like what is the Junker Queen supposed to do about that, you know? Like they should be losing that fight. You know? There, bro. But as you can see, the damage isn't really too hot either. Like you would output more on Junkrat or on Roadhog also. So the fact that she doesn't sustain her team anymore has made her definitely a lot worse, to be honest. Like, yeah, you become kind of like a nigh unkillable little creature whenever you use your commanding shout, but it doesn't really, like, just because you're unkillable doesn't mean you're able to like actually do anything for your team. Versus something like even like Orisa, which is going to play a very similar role. But Orisa has the ability to just put a lot more damage and sustain even more and just do like a lot more. So that's kind of how I see that going. Especially with the way the ultimate is right now. Like the ultimate, you know, does honest style anti-heal, but that's getting a nerf against because of Kiriko essentially. So you're playing Junker Queen, when they pop onto Kiriko, that's going to cause a lot of your ability to carry with like anti-heals and stuff like that to go away. Which is only like, you know, a 1.2 because it's really just on your ult too. It's not like it's all the time. So they honestly probably need to buff for damage a bit. Like, they've made a really funky character, to be completely honest, because they basically have just like added these interesting abilities, like with the shotgun's cool, the knife's cool. Commanding shouts, I don't like it, to be honest. I think it's just more sustained in the game. But they kind of thrown together a bunch of like interesting things that are mishmashed to try and make like a brawler character or whatever they want to call it. But it doesn't really provide anything for the team that some of the other tanks do. You know? Here, bro. Come on. He's just trying to kick everyone. Where you at, Genji? So as much as, yes, this game has changed a bit and it's much less dependent on like more individual play base, that doesn't mean your tank isn't still important. And in a situation where there is a lot more individual play, having someone that can consistently help a team is still really, really valuable, and honestly is like centralizing more of your ability to have the team play assistance stuff onto one character, whereas before it was on two. So you could sometimes justify having a character for like whatever reason. I don't want to get this off. Dang. I got a little bit too hard there. By might have, I mean, you know, I definitely did, but I'm gonna get touched back with the ball. Alright guys, so we got a round 2 here. Now, I might, you know, end up changing my opinion on Junker Queen a little bit when I have more time in the character, but, you know, if I'm like constantly hitting all my shots and constantly like getting more combos in efficiently with the Carnage ability and stuff like that. But I kind of feel like that sort of stuff isn't really, it kind of feels like damage that's gonna be hard to like get effectively consistently at like a lower rank, and then at the higher rank it feels like it's damage that they're not gonna let you have, you know, like they're not gonna let you get that close to you to like to do that kind of stuff. So oh, okay, that was actually kind of nice. I think I have a funny feeling that just because of Zenyatta's size, it more like shape, really his shape, he just kind of tanks damage that like tanks damage that he shouldn't against shotguns. Always kind of has, you know. Even against Sigma, I see this character like definitely not rising a bunch. And then again, playing as a Sigma into the Junkrat, or sorry, the Junker Queen is gonna be a little bit difficult just because of the fact that she's kind of hard to hit, to be honest. But just the amount, like what he's gonna be providing to the team, because he's basically fulfilling a very similar job of like, you know, obviously frontlining, right? He's only have one tank now, and it's gonna be a lot of like kind of like tactical shooter type damage. Like honestly, they're gonna buff the damage in this game because the sustain is so high, and they've never nerfed sustain in the history of Overwatch ever. So they're definitely gonna be nerfing the they're gonna be buffing the damage in this game later on, and it's gonna turn to exactly what Overwatch 1 was, with this heavy burst damage and heavy heavy sustain. It already has a sustain part, right? But you're not gonna really want to be playing this character when you could have a Sigma that can hold space better, apply damage at range better too. But actually, they added a bunch of random things around the map. I don't know how I feel about that. Kind of weird. Like, I don't know. Like the one in the Gibraltar that they added on third point is literally just helps defense, and you did not need any help on defense on that map. I don't know what's up with that. Time to dip, we went too hard. You know? And this character can't like control angles very well. It just front lines. You're not like a diva. We just want to back up from those, TBH. I think you just back up when Kiriko ults. And again, like I was saying before, like if you're able to get that close onto people, shouldn't you be on Roadhog anyway? And like in a higher elo, are they gonna let you get close to them? You know? Like, don't get me wrong, guys. I like to think about things from the perspective of all levels of players, because the experience of a top 100 player is not the same as a gold player, right? But from a top rank, I don't really see it being very like good. I find like the benefits that you can get from it to be not as good as like other things that characters can provide. And out of lower rank, I kind of see it being more like, I see it being not consistent enough to be able to pump out damage with. Like, don't get me wrong, when I get like up close on people, like I'm able to, you know, frag them pretty hard. So like that stuff's like not too bad. Oh, if only I could have gotten my commanding shot there, I would have lived. Probably no frag out. Like yeah, I can do pretty decently, but like how often should that be happening realistically? You know? And like I said, it's obviously aim based. It is a shotgun, right? But it can be a little bit difficult to hit your shots when you're close on somebody sometimes. Especially in Overwatch when things are just flying around you. It's like a Lucio flying around you and you're all that sort of nonsense. That's my general thoughts on, like, you know, balance of the character, essentially. Just kind of, eh. The reason that I feel like this too is they've made a character that's like a kind of an awkward generalist character. It kind of just does some things that other characters do, but instead of like, they're really trying to lead into this whole like, you know, no tanks, whatever, brawlers or whatever they're trying to do, right? I'm so glad you can't be frozen anymore. What a miracle. No, man. Where's my team? Where's my support? And so she doesn't tank. Like, she can tank because she has the HP to tank and stuff chokes and stuff like that and hold corners. But there's no, like... There's no reason to play her over something else. Close range shotgun damage. Roadhog. Range space holding, which she can't even really do. Sigma. Dive. Obviously, she can't do any of that. Well, that was a nice hook. But even then, like, that hook would have been better if I was playing Roadhog. You know, it's more consistent. You'll get kills more often. That guy was just feeding. I'm getting a hold on this stuff. The ultimate's pretty good, but there's better ones. Especially against Kiriko. I don't know if I forgot if I talked about that already or not, but Kiriko is definitely gonna take away some of the viability of this character. No, don't run into me. I am unable to kill this guy. Hello? That's weird. Yeah, it feels weird and inconsistent. But yeah, so when you know you get your nice juicy ult and it deals damage over time, which isn't nearly as good as dealing like flat damage. And then the Kiriko just uses her little protection Suzu and then it counters half of the healing because it heals 100. Or sorry, it heals 50 and her like damage over time is 100, I believe it is. So that's half of that just gone, right? And then there's the anti-effect of it gone. Like, don't get me wrong, I kind of like the idea of this character, or like the shotgun's fun. Shotgun's fun. The knife thing's really cool. It's just like something is not quite Overwatch-y enough about it. Maybe it's Overwatch 2. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing then. But then again, I haven't really liked a lot of the design decisions they made in this game, basically ever. There you go. Exactly like that. They chopped the protection Suji. What do I do about that now? Like, they were in a bad position anyway, and I did get their Baptiste out of it, but like... What is that? Why? You know? That character just counters me. And if they're a decent player, they're definitely gonna be holding on to their cooldown for longer than, you know... Definitely gonna be holding on to it for when you have your ultimate available. Oh, I'm about to get screwed. Oh. Wait, no way, I clutched this. No! What happened with her ult? How did I not get frozen there? Did I get Kiriko assisted, or what happened? Maybe I just missed it. I don't know, you never know what kind of weird new bugs have popped up or changes that they kind of didn't really talk about. I guess what dies if Mei dies during her ult, it goes away. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. Alright, that's that. We don't really want to fight those, we back up. Guess I'll just have to watch for her to use her ultimate, or use her little protection Suzu and then go for the ult, but... You know. I have a lot to ask for sometimes. Ooh. I'm glad that doesn't lock you in an animation when you press it. You can continue aiming it.
30 seconds remaining.
Oh, she TP to her team. My bad. I guess I should have known. I guess that is what that character kind of does, huh? But like, don't get me wrong, she's a lot of fun, and if you're playing to enjoy the game and not to like try hard and get whatever, then just play the character, you know. And I'm sure that if you do get good enough on her, you can force it and get good value out of it. It's just like, if we're talking about the average player who wants to play well and perform in their games, you're not gonna be super stoked about what you're getting from her. If you're looking for some more Overwatch 2 content, then make sure to check out these videos I have right here. Like I said, I'm a top 100 Overwatch player, so I have lots of videos and things to share with you guys.